Welcome!
Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and Part 9 to What If Estelle Jr. Survived. Before we get into it, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage, where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, both Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around and turning on all Omniversal notifications, and commenting future requests and expectations in the comments section. With all that said, let's begin. Today we get into Daima. Goma and Degasu are looking into the past of everything that just happened, with a lot changing from the original. So Goma and Degasu decide, especially since Deborah is good now, and so is Majin Buu, he's decided that they're not going to turn everybody into children. Instead, they're going to wish for the third eye for Goma, and he will personally kill Deborah and then everybody else. So they go ahead and wish on the Dragon Balls, just like normal. Goma gets the third eye, and he now says, let's go pay our little old Demon King Deborah a visit. And Degasu says, I know where he is, Supreme Demon King Goma. And Goma says, excellent. And once Goma and Degasu get to where Deborah is, he is just utterly shocked and dumbfounded that the demon realm has come back to him after all these years. And Goma berates him for how he ruins the legacy of who he is and who his father was and everything so on. And now, standing proud with the third eye, he says he's going to do what Deborah could never do. Succeed where he has failed and be the true Demon King. Deborah says, it seems like you thought of almost everything. And then he smirks devilishly and says, but you were wrong to wish for the third eye and confront me. You should have went after the rest of those fools. They wouldn't have known what I know. And that's the weakness of your little eye. You see, my father was a demon third eye king holder at one point. And it was also in my possession. I would have had that little trinket, and Bobbity and Boo would have been nuisances before my power if I had actually kept it. And then he gets into a fighting stance and says, you should have just killed me before spouting off all of this gobble. Now, you won't even get a chance. Then Degasu just force pushes him to the ground, but then Deborah just flames all over Degasu, just kills him. Then he tries it on Goma, along with evil blasts and forceful gravity key waves, spitting, sword, and more sword slashes. But his sword and every single one of his onslaughts are met by Goma just regenerating and ultimately just being too much for him. You know, the third eye is just that freaking iconic. And Goma says, this was your strategy? I thought you knew the weakness. You know, your father being a holder and you having the trinkets. I figured you would have known this little onslaught of yours would pale before a true Demon King. Deborah smiles and says, you're right. That was more or less to not only get your little fools out of the way, but to test how good you were at wielding its power. And now that I know that, you can say goodbye to that eye. And Goma says, what can you do that you haven't already? If you knew this eye's weakness, you would have done so already. You should have just kept true to the Demon King lineage. Now, every speck of what once was your lineage will die along with you. He goes in for a punch, but Dabura uses an afterimage evil blast teleportation and uses an evil blast right at Goma's back, uses a cape swing, whirlwinds his cape, and then another cape swing. 3 blows. And with these 3 blows, the eye is pushed out of Goma, with him unconscious on the ground. Gohan and the Cell Jr., along with everybody else, arrive on the scene, sensing all of this go down, and obviously seeing the sky go dark. Goku sees that Dabura not only just beat this guy and this bunch of people with this eye or whatever, he actually fought alongside them and, didn't, attack anyone before this or team up with these people. And then, very unexpected people come into play. Orinzu, Ku, and Du. Yes, they are still a thing in this timeline. They arrive on the scene from the demon realm, and Orinzu sees Dabura is still alive, and he is holding the third eye, which was once held by Goma. Goku wonders about everything that is going on here. Dabura explains everything, and that he has defeated the supposed Demon King Goma, and he assumes that Orinzu was going to take over in Goma's place or something, right? Well, now, no such option will happen. And he plops the third eye onto himself. So now, he is where he is supposed to be. The supreme demon king of the demon realm. Dabura the Demon King has returned. With the third eye in tow, he will return to the demon realm. He could kill them all right now with this eye. However, he has finally found a purpose for himself. So, he has no need to stay on Earth aimlessly anymore. But, remember this, he's still not a good guy. So don't come crawling to him for help unless it absolutely matters. If it doesn't, he's not helping them just because they once joined forces. Now, he has a responsibility as the true Supreme Demon King. Gohan says, okay, but know this, if you start anything, we will be here to stop you. The Cell Jr. looks on to see that Dabura's found his purpose, and now this has given him drive to find his. And he says to Gohan, why don't we continue our journey along the path of being rivals, as you might once have said? Seems our friend Dabura's found himself a purpose. Let's continue with gaining ours. So Gohan and Cell Jr.'s journey continues, as Dabura goes to the demon realm with the third eye and a newfound motive for living himself, and a much different Dabura, which we will see down the line. Don't worry, this is not the last you've seen of Dabura. So, we get into Dragon Ball Super territory. When will we see Dabura return? And how will Gohan and Cell Jr.'s and everybody else's journeys line with what is going to be the final 2 parts of this tale and the closings for Cell Jr.'s survival?
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!